Hello MAUSD families. My name is Patrick Reen. I'm Superintendent for MAUSD. As week 3 of reopening schools draws to a close, I find myself really grateful to live here in Vermont, and especially in our community. Thanks to everyone's efforts, our COVID-19 numbers remain really low, which offers us the opportunity to gradually resume some sense of normalcy, which I think we all crave. Today I'm going to talk about providing more in-person instruction to our younger students, our virtual elementary school option, changes to the ELP programming, and what moving to Step 3 means for athletics. I also have some reminders about the health screening, face coverings, and travel. Though we are getting more accustomed to our hybrid reopening model, we know it's far from ideal. We know there are many struggles that students, families, and educators are enduring while we try to make the most of our situation. Thankfully, after conversations with the Vermont Department of Health and our COVID-19 Steering Committee, we're confident that we can safely bring our younger students back for more in-person instruction. Beginning October 5th, MAUSD will welcome all pre-K through 6th grade students back for in-person instruction 5 days a week. We will still offer an all-remote option for families, and I have more information on that later in the video. However, we will not be offering a hybrid option any longer starting October 5th when we bring all pre-K through 6th grade students back for in-person instruction 5 days a week. Families will need to choose the all in-person option or the all remote option. There will not be a hybrid option. Students in grades 7 through 12 will remain in the hybrid option until further notice, though conversations about when and how to safely begin bringing secondary students back for more in-person instruction are beginning. So you can expect more information on that in the future. Each Wednesday will be an early release day. That's going to be for elementary schools only. This will provide time for the in-person instructors to connect with the remote instructors about students. It also offers opportunity for planning time, collaboration amongst teachers, and time for professional development. We do not make this decision to bring pre-K through 6th grade students back lightly. We've considered our staffing levels, we've considered our health and safety practices, and we've considered the rate of infection in our area. We feel confident we can bring back our pre-K through 6th grade students for in-person instruction 5 days a week while following the guidance from the Vermont Department of Health and the Vermont Agency of Education. This plan is further supported by the recent announcement that all schools in Vermont are going to be moving to Step 3 for reopening, which eases the distancing expectations. As is true at any point in time, our thinking on this may change if too many staff members are out sick or if we see a surge in number of cases in our area. Should either of these happen, we will revisit our plan and adjust accordingly. The fact that we can welcome students back for more in-person instruction is an indication of how good our situation is here in Vermont and in Addison County. However, it's important to acknowledge the reality that we will almost certainly have some positive cases at some point in time. Some positive cases will not necessarily result in going to all remote learning for all of our students. When we have a positive case, I will be in communication with the Department of Health, and I will follow their advice as I make the decision about going to full remote learning or remaining in our in-person option. As always, these decisions will be made with the best interests of our students and our staff in mind. As educators, we believe strongly that in-person instruction yields the best results for our students, both socially, emotionally, and academically. That said, we recognize these are unusual times, and as parents, the health and safety of your children and your family is of the highest importance. To that end, while the district makes plans to welcome all elementary age learners back into our buildings for in-person instruction 5 days a week beginning October 5th, we are committed to supporting fully remote learners in grades K through 6 as well. The choice to send your children physically back to school Monday through Friday or have them entirely remote Monday through Friday is yours. The purpose of this introductory message and the attached video and links that will be sent out is to provide you with the structure and expectations of our virtual elementary school so that you can make the most informed decision possible for your family's needs. Please know that registration for the virtual elementary school is due Tuesday, September 29th. So if this virtual elementary school option is of interest to you, it'll be important for you to review the attached information and reach out with any questions to the email provided in the attached video. And those video links will be sent out to your email. When all students in grades pre-K through 6 return for in-person instruction 5 days a week, ELP will no longer be offering full-day childcare programming. Instead, they will resume their after-school programming as well as their early release programming. Families will receive an email with a link to the registration form for your school. Please complete a registration form even if you have recently enrolled in some of the ELP programming that has been offered. With schools in Vermont moving to step 3 for reopening now, interscholastic athletics and activities can begin playing games again, beginning Saturday, September 26th. It's important to remember that under the governor's executive order, each activity is limited to a total of 150 people, spectators, athletes, etc. And all spectators are expected to wear their masks at all times. They're expected to stay in family units, and they're expected to stay 6 feet apart from other family units. We are going to have some markings on the field to help with the spacing on the sidelines. If everyone does their job, hopefully we can finish the fall sports season out strong and healthy. Just a reminder that we are still asking families to conduct the health screener at home before your children head out the door for school. This is true on the days when they're attending school in person physically. If your child passes the screener, they're all set to go to school. Otherwise, they should stay home. Please remember that your child needs to be fever-free without medication for at least 24 hours before they can return to school. I also want to remind you about face coverings. Face coverings are required in all of our schools. They have to be at least 2 layers of tightly woven cotton or a polycotton blend. If you're not able to send your child to school with a proper 2-layer face covering, we will provide one for them when they arrive at school. Aside from outdoor time with proper distance, and when eating or drinking, students and staff will be expected to wear their face coverings all day long. I also want to remind you about travel. If a student or staff member travels outside of Vermont for non-essential purposes to a county identified as having greater than 400 active cases per million, or travels outside of Vermont by public transportation, that student or staff member is expected to quarantine for 14 days or 7 days pending a negative COVID-19 test upon their return. Examples of essential travel include medical appointments or visitations with parents who share custody. The status of the county when you arrive in that county determines whether you need to quarantine. In other words, if you visit a county with a green status, even if the status changes to yellow or red during your visit, you would not need to quarantine when you return. Students who do need to quarantine are encouraged to access their learning remotely. You can search for the Vermont COVID travel map to stay up to date on which counties do not require quarantining, and that map is updated every Friday. As we take steps to provide more in-person instruction for students, please know that we do so with the best interest of the students, staff, and families in mind. We are only moving in this direction because we feel confident we can offer a safe and healthy environment for students to learn in. This will be the last weekly video for some time. From this point forward, you can expect to receive communications from your child's school as you normally would. I will produce additional videos as needed in the future when there's additional information to share. As always, you can find more information on our website, MAUSD.org, and if you have questions, you can submit them to covid.help@mausd.org. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for everything you're doing to help us work through reopening schools during this pandemic. It's much appreciated. Thank you very much.